Hello, everyone. We're so grateful to welcome you back to another Empower Channel segment here. And I have the pleasure today of interviewing Mr. John Cokinos and Mr. Jose Escobar. Jose, how are you this afternoon?
I'm very good. Thanks so much, Dallen. Morning.
And John?
I'm blissful. Thank you so much. Ha, ha, ha.
Great. Well, as I said, it's such a pleasure to be here with you guys. And I know that you're both going to have some fantastic nuggets to share with our viewers here. So John, we'll start with you. We're going to go back and forth here. So we have again, the pleasure of interviewing and speaking with many different martial arts schools. And I know the topic of, man, times are tough. Like I'm just going to give up. So in that instance, if you were talking to that owner, what would you have to share with them?
Look, if somebody were to say to me, okay, well, I just feel like giving up, I'd say, look, you work so hard. You're all supposed to do what you love and love what you do, right? So if you work so hard, then we got to figure out how to continue to fulfill that legacy. Most people, they wake up, the alarm goes off, begrudgingly, they get out of bed, they put on their suit or their tie, and they're in traffic, and they go into some office or they go to some location, and guess what? Statistics say that they're not very happy professionally. Mm-hmm. And so taking that back to us in our mentorship and coaching and working with all the people that look up to us, maybe we've been taking things for granted a little bit. Maybe this is a wake-up call. But I would like to say that you, as a director, have a lot to accomplish, and you have a legacy to fulfill. Now, that would be my answer.
Very nice. Thank you. So, Jose, flipping over to you, we're talking about victory. What does that mean to you? Where does that reside in your life?
I think Les Brown said it best. I'm a huge follower of Les Brown. And he says that it is not over until I win. That is a line that during this COVID-19 thing has been resonating in my mind every single day. I've been tapping into Les Brown, just picked up his recent book. And that guy really inspires. And it's really the idea that, you know, everybody out there wants to follow a winner, right? They want to attach themselves to a winner. And in this particular case, given we're mainly talking to martial arts school owners, are you that winner? Are you presenting yourself as that leader, that winner that your students and parents and all the people in your neighborhood and, you know, want to attach themselves to? That's a really powerful question to ask. So for me, victory resides outside of my comfort zone. That's where all of the magic happens. You know, that's where success lives. That's where victory lives, is outside of our comfort zone. So many of us are so in our little circle, the little bubble of what we're used to doing. We're creatures of habit, you know that, and we kind of do the same old thing over and over and over, whatever's comfortable for us. But we find that once we have the courage to step a little bit outside of our comfort zone, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, very much like a rubber band. You know, once you expand that rubber band, it never goes back to its original size. So that's really powerful for me.
Love that. The self-check method. Where am I at? What am I exemplifying? So John, back to that conversation with the school owner, I feel like it's probably not just that one school owner. I think we're covering a lot of the experiences, or at least experiences in thought of a lot of people right now, believing that this is really a crisis in their life and kind of latching onto that idea. So what would you say to them as a group?
Well, you're talking about some of us at times that we're holding on to a certain psyche. Mm-hmm. And that psyche isn't a good psyche, right? You all remember the beautiful time out there, especially you, Dallen. You're out there with a hose and you're washing your beautiful dog, right? And it's got lathered with soap, and then you just rinse off this dog. Well, inevitably what it does is it shakes off the water and we've all been there, you know, we're getting splashed, right? We need to shake off negativity. We need to shake off discouragement, pessimism. We need to shake off self-pity. So there's kind of like two different positions. One is it's doomsday, it's dark clouds, my profession is being attacked. And yeah, the false claim is that it does appear that we're really being challenged. The other position is, I'm going to make up my mind that things are going to be getting better. I'm not going to wait for the circumstances to get better. And then maybe at that point, I'll try to have a better outlook. I mean, don't fall into discouragement. Have the mindset now. That pit of discouragement says, man, this is a real tough one. I don't see my way out of it. But now's the time to have a sense of conviction, a sense of faith, a sense of I'm moving forward and I am not defeated mentally, and I will deal one day at a time with diversity, because I've done that all my life. That's my answer.
Love that. So Jose, I've checked myself. I've identified some areas that I need to improve. I need to change my mindset. Once I make those small steps of progress, how do I maintain that victorious mindset? Where do I go from there?
I'd say, first of all, we need to understand where these thoughts even come from, as far as the ability to maintain a negative thought or a positive thought. Now, this is my opinion. That's, for the most part, factually backed in numerous different books and science and various things. But I would say, first of all, it's the five senses. So a lot of these thoughts that we get into our mind, whether it's a victorious thought or a negative thought, stems from our five senses, and all the way from when we were raised, when we were young, and that includes our environment and various different things. And then also we have evil, the devil. We have good, God. So I think those are the three sources of where these thoughts come from. And it's very important to manage these thoughts very carefully. You have to be able to filter through and know where these thoughts are coming from. And once you identify the source of these thoughts, you now know how to manage these thoughts. And so to maintain that victory mindset, for me, it's developing and maintaining a very strong EQ. What is EQ? That's your emotional quotient. Now, that's different from an IQ. And I think an EQ will eat an IQ for lunch every day. That's the reality. So you have to be really sound and strong and grounded with your emotions. You got to be able to take anything and just keep going and keep digging deep. Now, for me, just a quick, recipe that I have as far as being able to maintain that mindset is I have something called a rule of five. And I actually learned that from John Maxwell. And that's 5 things that I do every single day without fail, no matter what. And this really speaks to the victory mindset. I read every day. I pray every day. I journal every day. I budget every day. Managing my finances keeps me sane. And I network every day. I'm plugging into mentors. I'm plugging into positive, like-minded people. How do you keep a dream alive? You hang around dreamers, so you got to be around like-minded people. And that's really powerful for me. So the rule of 5, if I'm tapping into those 5 things every single day without letting up, I'm mentally strong.
Very good. So John, I'm back to you, John. I'm getting a strong sense that you're suggesting that there could be a silver lining with what we seem to be enduring right now. So could you elaborate on that?
It's kind of extraordinary to say, well, is there a silver lining during this discouraging so-called time? And there are a lot of people that are exploring hidden talents that they never knew that they had. And they are, while they're shut down, these are people that are saying, look, I need to take my whole game to a new level. I need to soar to new heights. Maybe I have some gifts that I can expand. Maybe that's a technological platform that I can enhance my own sense of professionalism right now. This situation has got to prepare us and you for something in your future. I'd like to take that track with it. I was driving here and Joel Osteen was on the radio and he said, every setback is a set up for a greater comeback. Now, I like that. Dig in your heels. Don't give up. Dig in your heels. Don't give up. Dig in your heels and don't give up. That's my answer.
Love that. And it's so, I mean, it's applicable to not just this scenario, but all sorts of different business situations or life situations you might find yourself in. So Jose, going back to the mind and the power of mind, what are 3 simple things that you'd recommend that I do to work out my mind, or really anyone, a school owner, a director? What would you recommend?
Easy. Read, journal, and learn. 3 things you can do every single day to make sure that you are working out the mind, you're stimulating the brain, and it's a muscle. You know, it's just like working out. If you're not going to the gym every day, you're going to get weak. You're going to get flabby. You're going to get out of shape. You're not going to feel as good. You're not going to be optimized to maximize the day and increase your productivity. But if you are working out the mind, you know, that's really going to stimulate you to the next level. It's going to make all those chemicals in your brain, the happy chemicals that we all like, really work in sync to make sure that you are sharp, that you are constantly learning new things, you're able to deliver more. You know, the minute you stop learning is the minute you stop leading. You start doing this, you know, and if anybody is coasting, you're roasting by default. John Maxwell says it all the time, anything worthwhile is uphill all the way. So if you never feel like you're going uphill, then by default, you're stagnant or you're going downhill. And it's a pretty slippery slope downhill. So I would say read books, and not just any book. Read specific books to your niche of whatever business you're in. Read books on mental thought process and how to become stronger mentally. Journal. That's a great way to kind of evaluate your day, to get these thoughts stimulated. For me, that works tremendous wonders when I journal in the evening and kind of reflect on my day. And then learn something new every single day. Take some programs, take workshops, go to seminars, you know, go to our summit, which is coming up in November. So those are just a couple of things.
Yeah, very good. So John, metaphorically speaking, I feel like my back's up against the wall. It's not a good feeling.
Okay.
It's not where I want to be right now. How do I adjust or get in the mindset to get back to doing what I really love? How do I get there?
Look, since you were a lower belt out there, you were always in pursuit of black belt excellence. That was always a pursuit. I don't know what that personal story was of opening your first school, that personal story of teaching your first class. But somewhere along the line, you had to kind of have the mindset that things are good and they're going to get better. We had to start out with the mindset. And we had to focus on the possibilities of the future and not the problem. It's the same thing right now. Focus on the future and the possibilities. Don't dwell on the problem. Everybody else is dwelling on the problem. They have so many stories. I'm listening to people on the sidewalks and they're lamenting and ruminating about all the problems out there. I get it, but that's not where I want to have my focus. I want to be laser focused. And under these circumstances, I want to get positive right now. I want to come from the standpoint of that circle that I'm looking for opportunity and a way out of this challenge. That's where I've got to start. Greatness only comes to those who are willing to pursue it. That's my answer.
Those opportunities are endless. So I appreciate that. It's going to help me shift my mindset. So Jose, if we are to, and I'm sure that there are going to be tough times in the future and other unforeseen difficult circumstances and situations, how do you prepare now for those? What does that look like in your experience?
So we most certainly need to prepare for the blind spots. And part of that is never, ever acknowledging defeat before the battle. So we can't go in defeated. We can't go into a tough time. We have to know that it's going to happen. I mean, tough times are inevitable. It's not like if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. And a lot of times they're going to happen in ways that we didn't even see coming, you know? So we always have to patch the roof before it rains. We got to have the tools in place, you know, just in case. So I expect the best, but prepared for the worst. Now, speaking of blind spots, I'm going to just kind of give you a diagram that's a visual. Just kind of go with me here and imagine there's a board, right? There's a big circle, a small circle, let's say a small circle. So the top half of that circle is things that you know, right?
Okay.
Things on the bottom half of the circle are things that you don't know, right? So for example, I know that my car is dirty. I don't know that my car might have a leak, you know, in the engine, that it probably has a leak and I'm not aware of that, right? But then there's the bigger circle, which is on the outer side of the two. So you have the top half, the bottom half, and you have a bigger outer circle. So what lies between that gap of the smaller circle and the bigger circle is things that you don't know that you don't know. And that's the blind spot. That's the area where we got to work on the most. And the only way you can elevate your thought and elevate your mind to be able to access that type of information is by learning, acquiring knowledge, being prepared, all of these things that I've already been talking about. So there's things you know, things you don't know, and there's things that you don't know that you don't know. Tap into that.
Nice. John, is there maybe a couple or a one sentence affirmation that might be relevant to our discussion today? Okay. Something you're thinking about?
Affirmations. How many? Ha ha ha. I will take positive steps towards my future success. I'm expecting good things to happen, if not today, tomorrow. I'm expecting things, are you ready for this one, to open up. I am knowing that I have a lot to accomplish. I will regain my prominence, not only in my community, but globally too. This is a new day and breakthroughs are coming. And that's my truth, and I'm sticking to it.
I can stick to that too. We'll drink to that. Ha ha.
Ha. I'm going to give you a fortune cookie in just a moment, but go back to Jose and then come back to me.
Okay, sounds good. I need that. So Jose, what would you do when you're down and out due to mental fatigue?
Well, mental fatigue, down and out, should only last for 24 hours. And when I say 24 hours, I don't mean from like 1 o'clock p.m. right now to 1 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. I mean 24 hours, like by the time it hits midnight, that's yesterday's news.
We're not going to sleep on it.
It's a new day, and we got to let it go, and we got to move on. You got to dust yourself off. You know, I think I've said a quote before, I'm never down. I'm either up or I'm getting up. So that's a 24-hour rule. When I'm down and out and I feel, you know, like defeated and that kind of a thing, which happens to all of us. There's nobody who never feels that way, because we're human. They may not tell you. You know, I rarely tell my wife how I'm feeling sometimes if I'm down, but I just immediately lift myself up. So I get out of my mind and I get into my body. That's kind of one of the secrets I do. I just go outside and I go for a run. I do 20 push-ups. I do something physical to re-stimulate myself, and again, out of my mind and inside my body, and that really helps to get over it, and making sure that I don't drag out this nonsense. You know, I don't want to let it kind of like linger and fester and start kind of feeding on my family and my neighbors and my friends and my coworkers and managers and what have you, you know? So the defeated mindset says I can't and I won't. The victorious mindset says I can and I will. Big difference.
I love that handling it day of. You're Yeah, you're starting fresh the next day. We're not sleeping on it because it's easy to do that.
It's over.
Too easy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, John, I know you're holding that fortune cookie, so
Before I
hear
tell
it.
you about the fortune cookie, I wanted to say that Jose is saying he's out running and doing push-ups. I'd like to outsource some of those push-ups to Jose on my behalf. So look, you see this fortune cookie? Let me see if I can get this thing open, because this is our fortune, right? So here is this fortune cookie. And let's read what this thing says. Oh, I want to put it up here. I'm opening up this fortune cookie, okay? Your life will be happy and peaceful. There it is right there. Your life will be happy and peaceful. I'm going to stick to that end right there. Happy and peaceful. Bring it on. I'm ready. My arms are open. So that's my story. Dallen, anything in closing you'd like to talk about?
No, guys, I feel like this has been extremely beneficial. There are some really good nuggets I'm walking away with personally. And I really hope that you as a viewer, someone who's tuned into these segments, that you have some tangible ideas, some things that you can really implement in your life, especially right now. So thank you both for your time this afternoon. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you again.
Dallen, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I have to
say interrupt
something.
Away.
Before we say goodbye, I have to say one thing.
Okay.
I just felt compelled to say it. On my mirror in my bathroom, I have 2 questions. And hopefully this helps somebody. It's, what am I not doing that I should be doing today? And the other question is, what am I doing that I should not be doing today? Just a thought.
Beautiful.
Love that. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you again on another segment.
Peace.
Thank you.